Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen, we're making an amazing brûléed blood orange cheesecake. So let's get started. First off, set your oven to 350 so it's nice and hot, and now in the bowl of your food processor, add 8 ounces of your favorite cookie. Today I'm using gingersnaps because the warm spices and crunchy nature go super well with the orange cheesecake. Pop the top on, and then we're gonna pulse until finely ground. By the way, you could totally make this by hand, just crushing the cookies in a bag and then mixing them in a big bowl. You don't need a food processor. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar right into my processor. And by the way, today's recipe just so happens to be from the winter chapter of my cookbook. So if you have a copy, grab it and open to page 145 as you bake along with me. Pulse just to incorporate the sugar. And now I'm gonna stream 1/4 cup of melted butter right in. Perfect. Carefully remove the blade. And I just wanna show you that what you're left with looks crumbly and sandy, but you should be able to give it a good press and it'll stick together mostly. You don't wanna add too much butter to your crust because then it's like kind of just soggy and you're not getting the full flavor and crunch. Time to grab a 9-inch springform pan and get this crust in place. Now it's time to add our cookie crust right into our springform pan. I haven't even told you about the cheesecake yet. This is so good. I feel like I should have a Preppy Kitchen cheesecake channel. At least maybe like a cheesecake week or something, that'd be fun. Okay, anyhow, we're gonna spread these crumbs around. Just brushing them along. Singing a song side by side. I'm here all day. Anyways, we're gonna press down. You can use a measuring cup or a glass. Actually, a glass would be better. So the cheesecake has this amazing, like crunchy ginger crust, but then the inside is just a creamy orange dream cake. And we're gonna have slices of oranges. Today I'm using blood oranges because they're extra dramatic. Not really for the flavor because they don't taste that different. The secret with any cookie crust is to really just take your time and press firmly, but give it a good packing down all the way around and then come back for a final like press in. You're really pressing together because you only used just enough butter to hold things together. You didn't use too much. Okay, that looks really nice and perfectly compacted. We're gonna pop this into the oven, 350 for 10 to 15 minutes or until it's fragrant. It's like toasting nuts. It's done when you can smell it. It'll also be a little bit more golden in color. In you go. While our crust is baking, we're gonna make the filling, of course. So in the bowl of your stand mixer or a big bowl if you're using a hand mixer, I want 3 8-ounce packages of cream cheese, but it has to be room temperature. So if you took it out of the fridge and you let it sit for an hour or 2, that's not good enough. It's either sitting around for a while or you unwrap him, put him on a plate and microwave 50% power and like 30-second bursts, just like if you were softening butter in the microwave. It should be so nice and soft. See this? It's like falling apart almost. When you use cream cheese that's too cold to make a cheesecake, it's just a recipe for lumps and bumps. It does not mix in properly. And one, like I love cream cheese. I actually would eat it by the spoonful, but if I'm having a cheesecake, I want it to be creamy and like the exact same consistency and flavor throughout. So we don't want a lump of cream cheese. And also it can give you cracks. So if you have different consistencies, like something hard, something soft, and it's baking together, that's a moment where your cheesecake can kind of like come apart, just look a little bit less appetizing. We're gonna mix this up until it's nice and creamy. So now we're gonna work the cream cheese, cream it up. I'm gonna mix this on medium for about a minute until it's smooth and fluffier. Just let it mix. This recipe calls for 2 eggs and 2 egg yolks. So let's crack the eggs into a bowl. I'm doing that so I don't have any shells because that's a horrible texture to have in a cheesecake. Scrape your bowl down. And then we're also gonna use 2 egg yolks in the recipe, and the egg yolks do something very special. 2 egg yolks now. The egg whites you can like add to your omelets tomorrow or, you know, make a tiny meringue. My eggs are separated. This is nice and creamy, so I'm moving it back to medium, and I'm gonna slowly add in 1 cup or 200 grams of granulated sugar. Add that in along with a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. The other thing you're gonna do when you make a cheesecake is scrape the bowl down occasionally, because chances are you have some unmixed nonsense at the bottom and you just need it to be so nice and smooth. That's the pleasure of a cheesecake. It's just like a cloud of creamy deliciousness that melts on your tongue. Double check this recipe. So we're gonna scrape the bowl down. That's gonna salt in. Sour cream, orange zest, and vanilla. So I need 1/3 cup of sour cream and 2 teaspoons of orange zest. Thanks, book. Now it's time for 1/3 cup of sour cream, and now 2 teaspoons of the orange zest. So this is one of my blood oranges. It's a mystery. It could be totally red on the inside or like a normal orange. You never know. I will always add a little bit more because I love it so much. So my crust just came out of the oven and it was looking a little saggy. So don't know what will happen. It might be the brand of cookie I used. But the nice thing is, while it's soft, you can just prop it right back up. That has never happened before. I took this out of the oven. I took it out of the oven and it just fell down. I was like, oh my gosh, what? Never. I think it was this brand of gingersnaps I used. Maybe it had maybe a bit too much sugar in them. But it's still super soft right out of the oven, just like a cookie would be. So use that glass and just re-prop it up. And as you can see, it looks basically fine now. Problem solved. Back to the filling. 2 teaspoons of orange zest is all we need, so pop that in. Oh my gosh, it gives you so much flavor. All of my oranges and lemons in the house are usually just like this. They're naked because they've been used for various desserts or savory things. I'm gonna mix this up again. I also want 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So 1 and 2. All right, just mix that until it's combined. My bowl is looking a little unruly, but on the inside, things are looking pretty smooth. I don't see a lot of lumps. Continue on medium-low. I'm gonna add the eggs in one at a time now. Let the first egg incorporate before adding the second one in. You don't wanna overwhelm this kind of thick mixture with too much of a thin mixture. And you might notice that I'm not mixing on high. I don't wanna beat a lot of air into the batter because that will give you a chance for cracking. All those air bubbles will dry the cake out in the oven. They'll expand, they might cause it to crack, and it won't be as silky as it could be otherwise. Right, we're gonna stop this, take a look inside the bowl. Look at that nice mixture. That is really like just loose and silky and gorgeous. One more scrape. And now we have these 2 yolks. These are gonna do something basically magical. You know that egg yolks are great for creating an emulsion and mixing things? Well, I'm gonna add those to a small bowl and mix them with 2 tablespoons of Grand Marnier or Cointreau. So if you just added the alcohol right into your batter, it could curdle things, it might not mix properly. If you don't wanna use this, think of it as optional. Your cheesecake will still be delicious. You have all that orange flavor from the orange zest. If you want a substitution, I might add in 1 teaspoon of orange blossom water. Let's give that a mix. Okay, see that? I have a wonderful mixture. There's no curdling. This gets mixed in while mixing on low. Just drizzle that in. This cheesecake is beautiful, but we need just a little bit of structure. So we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of flour and just sift it in. Okay, that's all my flour. Just continue folding it in, and you can do a little scrape down while you're at it. Nice and smooth. It's ready to pop into the oven as soon as we transfer it to our slightly cooled crust. So this cake bakes without a water bath. It doesn't need it. It should be nice and perfect with no cracks. If you have a cursed oven though, fill an 8-inch, like an 8 or 9-inch cake pan with hot boiling water basically. Put that at the bottom rack of your oven. Bake your cheesecake in the middle rack and you'll have like a nice steamy bath. But honestly, like if your oven's not cursed, you shouldn't need it. 350 for 15 minutes, then reduce the temperature to 300 and bake for 30 to 35 minutes or until it has a bit of a wobble but is basically set. In you go. When your cheesecake's done baking and has that little bit of a wobble, go ahead and turn the oven off, leave the door closed for about an hour, then take it out, let it come to room temperature and chill overnight to 8 hours. Once your cheesecake is chilled, it's time to brûlée some oranges. You'll want 2 to 3 blood oranges or whatever orange you like to use, It really depends on how you want to serve the cheesecake. So start off by cutting the skin. Oh my God, look at this. That is a brûléed orange. I'm so excited. So we want to get rid of all that pith. Nobody likes that bitter pith. But if you do, let me know in the comments. I'm all ears. Nicely done. Now we're going to slice it up. These get arranged onto a baking sheet. I lined it with paper towels because I want to like just remove any excess moisture for the bruleeing. You're bruleeing an orange. The only issue is oranges are full of liquid and you want that sugar to not be really wet. So I'm just gonna pat them a little bit with the paper towel. I pulled a regular orange out of the fridge and I'm just giving that a cut too. I wanna have a couple like orangey moments so that it's not all like reds. Ooh, look at that. I love the difference in colors. Once they're a little bit more dry, we're gonna sprinkle the tops generously with sugar. That feels generous to me. Let's get to torching. So you're gonna brûlée it until the sugar dissolves. So you'll see a wonderful like flash of bubbles as the caramel just kind of sets. Nice. Then just keep moving along. The regular oranges actually look cool too because you can really see the caramel and the charring. Listen to how cool this is. That is a brûléed top, wow. All right, grab a sharp knife and we're gonna run it along the edge of your chilled cheesecake. You just wanna make sure that nothing pulls the cheesecake apart and it's really stuck. Remove the collar and it's the moment of truth. Yes. And my cheesecake did not crack, but it did have a bubble in the middle, which was like this. And then when it deflated, there was like a little blemish, but that's exactly what these oranges are gonna cover. Arrange your brûléed oranges on top of the cheesecake. You can serve with additional oranges, and then it's time to enjoy. I am so glad that recipe is in the book. Oh my gosh. Creamy, kissed with orange throughout, with the gingersnap crust that has all that warmth to it, and the crunchy brûléed oranges. It is a must-make recipe. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe from my book, and if you like this video, check out my cheesecake playlist.